Well, hey everybody, how are you doing today? It's time to talk about the Yi M1 Micro Four Thirds camera. Are they going to update the iOS software for the app? And are they going to release a new firmware for the Yi Micro Four Thirds, the Yi M1? That's coming right up. So you've got yourself the Yi M1. It was working pretty good. They came out with the firmware 3.1 for the body and then another firmware update for the lens, and it improved the camera somewhat. And then we got to a point to where all of a sudden, if you are an Apple user and you have a Apple iPhone, and all of a sudden the app didn't work anymore. And the app was very handy when it came to using the app in conjunction with the camera. So I reached out to Yi, and I've reached out to them a couple of times now, and they responded to none of my emails. So what I did was I got online, went to their Facebook page, sent them a message on Facebook, and this was the question that I sent them. Hello, in May your company posted on Facebook that you will fix the iOS app for the M1 and that you were also releasing a new firmware for the M1. I've sent 3 emails and no one responds to me about this. Are you going to fix the app, and when are you releasing a new firmware for the M1? Now, I was responding because they said stay tuned on their Facebook page that a big, well, actually it was a huge update. I would post a screenshot of that, but guess what? That post has been now deleted, so it's no longer on Facebook for me to show you. But they have talked about, well, in July we're going to release a new firmware. In July we're going to fix the app for the iPhone users. So this is the response that I got from Yi. Hi Andre, we are frustrated as well. Our engineers say that hopefully we will have a fix by the end of August. So sorry for the inconvenience. So in response to that, I said, well, what about the firmware update? And they responded again saying, hi Andre, we are frustrated as well. Our engineers say that hopefully we'll have a fix, i.e. update, by the end of August. So sorry for the inconvenience. So here we are. It is now August the 7th, and they say by the end of August that they're going to do a firmware update for the Yi M1, which I think is a great thing because, you know, this camera has potential. Having a Sony sensor, being small like it is, you know, there are some quirks about this camera that I wish it had an audio in. It has some really cool features and it's got some potential, but then again, some of the down draws are the focusing system, or the autofocus on the camera totally sucks. I mean, it drifts in and out no matter what you do, and I know a lot of people say, well, all that you've got to do is just touch the back of the screen. Well, that's great when you're behind the camera, but if you're in front of the camera, you can't do that. You can't even see if it's in focus or not because the screen does not articulate. It does not move around so that you're not able to see what you're filming or how you're composing your shot. So I just wanted to give a little update on it for all the Yi M1 owners out there. Hold out hope, because I don't think they've given up on the camera yet. Now, I have heard some rumors that they will be coming out with a M2 with maybe even a larger sensor instead of the Micro Four Thirds. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, at this point, it's called kind of a guessing game regarding what they're going to do. But, you know, they do address their other cameras. When I say other cameras, they're action cameras. They do address those very well. So it leaves me to think that there's still some possibility for us, the M1 owners, that are actually going to be able to get another firmware update that may enhance it, even if they worked on autofocus, and if they could improve the autofocus on this camera by 20%, I would be much happier. Much happier. But anyway, you know, it's a good all-around camera considering the price. It's just firmware needs a good firmware update to be able to get all the potential out of this camera. Second update I want to talk about is the Acaso V50 Pro owners. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that love the Acaso V50 Pro, and I think that it's got a ton of potential. What I don't like about the Acaso V50 Pro is that it is super contrasty. I mean, any shadows are completely blacked out in it, and The audio is good. It's not fantastic like what the Firefly 8 SE is, or even the SJ8 Pro, but the audio is good on it. The stabilization at 4K 30 frames a second, I think it could use a little bit more fine tuning because it makes the image wobble a little bit. So this is a response from Akaso on an email that I sent, and this is from Jennifer. She says, "Hello Andre, thanks for the message. Now this is me inquiring about the firmware for the H.265, which does not work on the Acaso V50 Pro. It's only H.264. She says, thank you for your message. Now our technical staff are trying to upgrade this H.265 updated firmware and testing it for check does it can update the camera successfully. Also, we'll spend much time to develop and update the firmware. So please be patient, try to wait, and try to use H.264 firmware firstly. I hope you could have better understanding and cooperation to our business. Sincerely, Jennifer at customer service at acasotech.com. Apparently, they're still working on it. If the chipset is capable of H.265, I don't see how that should be that big of a deal. But then again, I mean, is it a deal breaker for me? For a lot of people that are using older computers, you can't even use H.265. So you need a relatively newer computer and, you know, like Windows 10 and some good software to be able to even take advantage of that. It's nice to have a smaller file size, especially when you're dealing with 4K. But anyway, those are just the two updates that I wanted to give. You know, the Yi, like I said, I've taken it with me. I've gotten some nice footage with it before, and I think it's capable of a little bit more. I'm also using a Takstar microphone for the audio instead of my Blue Yeti because I'm just getting to a point to where it's like, you know, it's a little bit tiresome when you're doing audio separately and you're importing it into your video software, you're syncing it up with the original audio off the camera, and then you're deleting the camera audio track, bringing in the other one, linking those two together. So I just figured, well, you know, I'm going to try the Takstar boom microphone and just see how it does. So far, when the first time that I reviewed it, I liked the sound quality out of it. So what I did was in body in the camera, I knocked it down minus 6 dB. So we'll see exactly how good, because I want to get rid of some of that preamp noise that you usually get with the camera. So we'll just see how it sounds. But anyway, I hope you guys have yourself a great day. A little bit of a lengthy video, but just a quick update or an update regarding the EM1. By the way, if you're not a subscriber, subscribe today. Click the bell, become part of the Worth It or Not team, because I'm letting you know where your hard-earned money is going. Is it worth it or is it not? And if it's not worth it, I'll be the first one to tell you. And if it is worth it, I'll be the first one to tell you. So have yourself a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.